Whoops. I think it's funny how much I've played this game, and over the past, getting to be 2 years now. I was not hyped about this game at all. I was actually very, cold on it. I thought it was just going to be another online PvP type shooter. And I did not really play online PvP shooters until this game came out. Um, but I thought it was going to be a game where, I was essentially playing against other people all the time, so I was very off of it. And then I had some store credit. I'll just use this for fun. Uh, and I had some store credit at GameStop, which I'm not a fan of, but I picked up that, or excuse me, NHL and this game, and I started playing it, and right off the bat, I sucked at it. I wasn't super sure how I felt about it, and I wasn't even able to play it very long because my girlfriend does not like space-themed games at all, and she was over at the house and more or less asked me like, "Hey, can you turn this shit off? It's just boring." So for the first week that I had it, I didn't really even do a lot with it, and then I had a friend who bought it, and actually one night just showed up in my game world, and started playing with me, and from there we started having a blast. And he actually quit when The Dark Below came out. He was not able to get over having his progress reset on his exotic weapons. He had very shit luck when it came to loot drops. So a lot of those things that was being forced to re-level, he only had just received. So he stopped playing, and for a while would continue to question me, like, why are you still playing? Like, aren't you incensed that they did this? And it was I didn't necessarily disagree with him, but it was one of those things where there's just something about the game, and it's not even the addiction to the loot drops or things like that keep me coming back, because by this point in time I've quote unquote beaten this game, or the equivalent of having beaten it countless times over. I've got 3 characters that I have on PlayStation, 2 of which have been deleted and re-leveled. So I've basically done the same thing 5 times over on PS4, and 3 on Xbox One. Like, I'm no stranger to the way the game works. I'm no stranger to the loot drops. There's effectively nothing new for me to do in this game, but I keep coming back to it. Like, I don't know if it's the charm or or what it is. Like, I think the mechanics are very sound. I think that it's aesthetically a very pleasing game to play. I'm trying to find something other than a shank to waste my golden gun shot on, but there's something about it that keeps me playing over countless hours, well over 1,000. And it's... I don't really feel like I'm going to slow down. Like, I've always taken regular breaks, so I've never really gotten burnt out on the game. And that's prevented me from playing it, as intently as, I feel like a lot of others have. But it... I take breaks with every game. I can't always do the same thing. It's just part of my ADD, so it was never anything personal, or, there was never even any foresight being applied to, like, oh man, I gotta take a break from Destiny starting you know, this Sunday, or else I'm gonna get burnt out on it. Like I just would get bored and want to do other things. But you know, it's a fascinating game to me. Like, you know, even the more I learned about like the troubled production that it had. Hopefully I don't die here. You know, so you start to become more interested in the game from like a documentarian's point of view. Like, oh, what exactly happened there? Like, they fired this guy and that guy quit, and they still made the game, and they cut X, Y, and Z out of it. So, you know, you start looking at the game through that set of glasses. And, you know, then I found the Reddit, which, you know, people are discussing the ideas they have about the game, the things they'd like to see fixed. You know, so there was always this, seemingly like this ever-growing enthusiasm for the game, and for different reasons. Like you know, you always have something new to endear yourself to the game, or endear the game to you. Excuse me. You know, I didn't get a chance to play the beta. I think my friends did, and they kept their level of hype pretty high. You know, over the course of that, they played their PvP. They did the first Iron Banner. They got their crazy moon emblems and stuff like that. But like I said, I was not into this game at all. The second I found out that it was a game I'd be playing with other players, I misjudged it and assumed that I would be playing against them at all times, which I didn't like. But you know, I didn't get into Warcraft. I thought Warcraft was, you know, just really boring. So I have no experience with online MMOs. I have no online MMOs. That's kind of a redundancy. But you know, and even first-person shooters. I played Halo way back in the day, but the only time I ever really played PvP with something was GoldenEye, and then Gears of War, which is a little bit different. But yeah, man, like once I had an open, you know, free period of time to really sink my teeth into the game, I, you know, bit down on it and never looked back. I very, very much love this game. You know, I like games that are set in, you know, kind of story-rich universes that kind of allow me to, I don't know, basically play pretend. I really enjoy the setting that Destiny is in. I've always been kind of a sci-fi nerd. I definitely have enjoyed games in the past, like, you know, obviously Halo I mentioned. Gears of War was kind of cool, although I thought that, you know, the setting there was, you know, basically like a Starship Troopers type story. But Mass Effect, especially, games that have these rich universes that you feel like you can actually like live in. And although Destiny has had issues with, you know, the story being portrayed in the game, or not portrayed, delivered, you know, with the grimoire score, the lack of clarity as to what you're doing and why. It's, you know, it's a game that, you know, even at its base parts, you can just walk around and gawk at. It's very pretty. It's very, very beautiful to look at. It's, I don't know. There's so much that is aesthetically pleasing, and magnetizing about the game. Like it's very visually arresting to look at, especially on the current gen consoles. The last gen ones definitely leave, you know, something to be desired when it comes to looks, but you know, it's no less captivating by any measure. It's, you know, it's just a, it's an impressive. It was an impressive game to me, and it's one that's really started to come into its own. And I'm very appreciative of my decision to give it a chance, because who knows, man. It could have been one of those games I never bothered playing at all, and that would have been sad. I genuinely feel like had I never played this game, I would have missed out. I love this cloak. I wore this cloak for a long time, back when a class item score didn't matter. Bungie.